Hey everyone, let's unbox and have a look at Airplane, Service Truck, and Hovercraft Remix by LEGO City. This is set number 60505, contains 990 pieces, retails for $69.99, and the set was provided by the LEGO Group for early review. Thank you, LEGO. And in addition to the noisy plane outside, we get to make ourselves an airplane. That's the service truck and the hovercraft. And the whole objective of this set is to mix and match body parts from each model and make a whole new creation. I've done a review on something similar to this before, and just by first impressions, it just looks like your typical LEGO City set. Nothing special with it. Here's the top. This looks like we get some minifigures included. So it looks like we have 3 in total, 1 for each vehicle. And here's the back of the box, and yeah, essentially you get 9 separate pieces and you just kind of, well, mix and match them together. And yeah, these kind of look hideous, but I think just the models here would look good just as is, but we won't know that until we build it. Before we can build the set, we're going to have to unbox this first, so let's see what we have inside here. And just have to rip these open and throw the cardboard on the floor. Alright. Well, yeah, that's not what I wanted to see offhand, is loose parts. Be careful, your stuff is packed pretty tight in this box here. And yeah, I don't expect any stickers with this, but you never know. So, I can't find all the building guides. So let's go through all this first. You obviously got 2 big bulk pieces here. Kind of dusty. These should have been packed up in the bags at least. And yeah, I can always use helicopter parts. Maybe one day I'll build a helicopter. And we got numbered bags. So yeah, we might have 9 bags in total. Let's set these over here. Alright, found another building guide. And the whole point about these unboxings is to see exactly what we have in here before we get ourselves in trouble here. A lot of the other guys will just rush through this. I won't. We'll discuss it as we go here. So we have 9 numbered bags. So this could be built by up to 9 people, because I did one of these before and it was an easy collaborative build, but we'll find out here. And in addition to that, we get these 2 pieces floating at the bottom of the box. And a couple of building guides here. Alright. So you could either go up to 3 or 9 people. It depends on what you want to do, or you could build it solo. Now, does this come with a brick separator? Well, let's see. Usually it's the first or the last building guide here. It should. Or is it a budget cut thing? No, it does. That's probably the first brick separator I've seen in a long time with one of these types of sets. And yeah, you're going to need it in here if you're going to put this together, because you might make mistakes. I know I do. I make tons of them. And yeah, I think this is pretty good for what we're going to be doing today. I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. Not too bad at all. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do today is we're going to split this up into 3 separate build installments. I think we're going to do each one of these in its own build. And we got 9 bags. I could do 9 installments, but that might be a little too much. I might be asking for a little too much trouble there. We got the most important bag here. So what I'm going to do is keep bags 1, 2, and 3 on the workbench and move the rest over here. And I did one of these in the past, and it wasn't too bad, but mix and match in the models just seems kind of, do I dare say it, juvenile? So I don't want to do that. I'd rather just keep, we'll test it all, but just these alone here look really good, you know. Now we could pick any one we want, but right now we're going to keep everything in build order. I'm going to start with bags 1, 2, and 3 in this installment today. And today is the 12th, I believe. Let me take a look. Yes, today is the 12th of December, 2025. Yeah, we're getting close to Christmas time. And what better way to start than to build a set? Okay, let's begin. Let's build it, starting with bag number 1. And yeah, I'm going to start with the minifigure first. And these type of sets, I'm not really a fan of. But the models are really good if built with their respective parts. Now, why am I not a fan of these? I just don't like the mix and match things. Oh, we already got a bunch of small parts. I wonder how bad that's scratched. We'll take a look at that here in a second. So, if you're just tuning in, you've never seen how I did one of these before, all sets start off as a 10. And then we chip away as we go. Okay. Sometimes I don't chip anything away. There's nothing wrong with it. It was an easy build. The instructions were easy to follow. I kept my interest, all that stuff. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be here for a while. Hoping these build installments are no more than an hour. But I notice Lego's starting to get carried away with a lot of the smaller parts. So, you know, not too much. And you know what I forgot to set up again? You probably can guess. Forgot to lasso this baby up with a ring light, so someday I'm gonna buy me another one. Eventually, probably a 15 or 16 incher that I can just leave it bolted around the camera. This one's a little too small. And yeah, let's get going here. And we do have the brick separator and stuff, but let's see. Is this thing scratched? Oh my goodness, where's that black thing? I'm gonna find some black construction paper. And yeah, let's see here. I mean, right there. That's uncalled for, and there's some scuffs. Now, Jay, why does it matter? You know, this is a kid's toy, because this stuff is expensive. Let me get that up there. I mean, I have to share this. That's kind of unacceptable, Lego. Alright, we hadn't even started building yet, and we're already going to ding this baby down to a 9. So, let's hope it's a sturdy build. So yeah, we're doing the front portion of the service truck, but before we get to that, we need to get to our minifigure. Now, these videos are not to be considered as professional product reviews, how-tos, or tutorials. These are just merely my notes for the review. I will try to cover every angle as I possibly can, but I cannot make guarantees. So if you're looking for a polished tutorial on this, I'm sorry. But I will try my best to improve the quality so I don't leave anything out. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit for you here. But I do take in considerations for improvements. Just don't be rude about it, you know, because you know, this is meant to be fun. And Legos also recognize that a lot of us don't just do plain Jane reviews. They're renaming things more as early release offers or something like that. So it's not like I'm obligated to do a review on these, because this is the review, is building. Because most of the time when you're doing a Lego set, it is this is part of the play here, is building. I mean, we buy Lego sets to build, not to just admire. If we did, we would just buy a whole model. I'm just trying to get the camera here to focus in, but it's refusing to focus here. Come on. Or is my autofocus off? That was the problem. I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue here with the unboxing and the stuff. Somebody might throw a complaint over that, and you get the hard hat with it. Sometimes I'll hit buttons on this camera and I'm not really aware of it until it's too late. And yeah, some people do get mad over that, and I can't really help if I make a boo-boo. Once these are unboxed, I can't say, Lego, send me another set, I messed up. You know, I have to just go with I have to roll with the punches on these. And yeah, now we're going to start doing the construction of the front portion of the truck. These are pretty easy, and yeah, these are collaborative builds. So if anything, it's a collaborative set that we can spend time with a friend or some family. Up to 9 people can usually put these together, so I'm always game for that. Are these hollow studs? No, just regular. And yeah, just for fun, you know. But Lego is recognized now. A lot of people, including we do storytellings. I do a lot of storytellings on these. I do vlogs on these. I don't just sit and just talk about the set. I've seen those before. So my reviews are different than a lot of people's. You know, I just do this for fun. This is just entertainment for myself, and yeah. And yeah, today the sun is finally peeking out. It keeps coming in and out behind the marshy fog out there. So it's like, yeah, I like it when it's cloudy and gloomy. But, well, not today, folks. Got to make a couple of these. These bricks are very valuable, so just hang on to them when you get them. So, sometimes my mind gets motivated on making tutorials. Now, I wish I could do some tutorials right now. I'm doing reviews, but I got a bunch of tutorial concepts going. And some other stuff that I kind of want to tinker with today that are fresh in my mind. So right now I have 3 concepts that I'm going to try to build in real bricks and see how well it comes out. And if it turns out well, those will be tutorials. One's a trailer and the other 2 are just builds. One of them's going to be related for Valentine's Day fun. So that is that. And there's a couple of other ones that I want to build, but I'm not quite sure how I want to build them yet, so I got to think on what I want to do. But I need to get going on filming because Lego has sent me 2 more offers, and which is a total of about 5 or 6 sets. And yeah, I'm going to be here my whole winter break building Lego, and to some that may sound fun. I'm going to try to breeze through these as quickly as I can so I can do some more engaging stuff other than, you know, sitting in the house building. I'd like to do one of these outside one day. I may do that. And in addition, I did find myself another memory card stashed in a drawer. I plugged it in this camera and it seems like it's working, so looks like I will be doing that later on. Right now I'm on memory card, I believe, number 5. And then I'm going to test out this new card, possibly with this set here, and see what I can do with it and see if everything works fine. Yeah, we're messing with the most smallest parts again. I think Lego just sometimes does that just to make it seem like these sets have so many parts. But of course you get more detail with the smaller parts. And I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Right now I'm editing videos right now. I'm shadow filing some stuff and uploading some. So like right now I'm getting Disney sets done. If you remember the Disney reviews, I'm finally getting those going. And I got a couple that I need to proof. I got some thumbnails. I got a little bit of everything I got to get going here. And we're hitting more out of the small bag than anything else. And I'm just, like I said earlier, though, I don't want to be cooped up in the house filming Lego sets. I'm trying to think of a method to just not make this so dry and boring. Okay, so like I said, there's some out there who that's all they do is they film in their Lego rooms and that's it. Now, as far as for fan questions, I did get a question asked. I should do a room tour update. I would, but at this point with being in the ambassador thing, it's kind of like throwing a ringer in a fight because I'd just be showing off sets that Lego has sent me. But it might be a benefit for some to show, like, I don't put any of this stuff on display. A lot of the stuff is sitting in totes. So if I did a tour, it'd be in 2 or 3 different rooms of the house. And it would be it'd be more like an informal tour. So if I get enough requests for a room tour, I'll do it. just to kind of show you guys how disarray everything is at the moment. Maybe after the holidays I'll consider it, but right now I got to get the holidays out of the way, and I got a bunch of other chores from my personal life that need to be fulfilled, so I got to do that. Oh, more white hoods. I got plenty of those. But yeah, I don't know what section we're doing here. I think it might be the front. Could be. The whole point about these sets here is just mix and match the parts together. I used to do that when I was younger. I used to make Lego blocks, but I would make like radios and televisions, and I would just make like a picture tube and a speaker and maybe a cabinet, and then just start piecing the parts together to make a whole model out of it. Now it's now I just kind of get more into minifigure scaled models. But these things here are built pretty good, with the exception of the mix and match part. So I have a feeling each vehicle is going to take about 300 pieces. So that's even better. So each installment might be an hour long, I don't know yet. I'm timing myself right now. I'm already up to like almost 20 minutes. Yeah. And the build's going along pretty smooth so far. I'm not having any issues. It's keeping my interest, surprisingly. Some steps only have one piece, which is kind of a little bit on the slow side. I don't know what the age limit on this set is. 7+. At least now we can count. We don't have the stupid hand things that we have to go through, which I don't like. But so far, though, it's not a bad build. I think this is going to be a good one for the family to put together. So even if you don't mix and match, the whole goal about it is for the family to build the set together and put it, and enjoy the build as a whole family. And I always look for sets like that because I think Lego needs to focus more on group building. So this will be something for you to relate with the kids or your brothers and sisters. You all can pitch in and talk about summer plans or something like that. Depends on when you get this set. Of course, this is not this won't be available until January 1st, but I know some people don't like these too much, but just for the aspects of building, they're not too bad, as a collaborative build. That's why I wish I had a partner to help me with this stuff. I really do. I have a friend of mine that if he was closer, he said he'd help me with this. It would be nice to do that. Girlfriend doesn't like doing this. My parents don't like doing this stuff. Yeah, it just right now it's solo building. But it would be nice to kind of talk about other things like video games and stuff like that. But doing it solo, it does kind of get to me after a while. Yeah, there's a lot of small parts at the start of this. I hope the whole build is not going to be like this, but I have a feeling it is. Alrighty. Okay, we just did... Hold the phone. Am I missing parts? Alright, hold on. We already used 2 of those. Alright, I am missing some parts here. Well, here's... Okay, never mind. They're right in front of my face. I gotta pay attention. I got tutorials on the mind today, but they're written down. Like I said, there's concept. What I mean by a concept is concepts of a tutorial is something that's built in a program and it's up to me to take that build and build it with real bricks. Everything that you see on my channel, even if you're on my Rebrickable profile, every one of those builds with the building guide are built with real bricks. They're not just, I have to know how the build's going to go together. Okay, in order to do this. Is there two sides to this or one? I have a feeling that we are mirroring. Yeah, there's two of these. It doesn't tell you in the book, but I'm going to just kind of, for brevity, well, there it is. But my goal is to just have a little fun with these and just to see how much trouble we can get in with building sets like this. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I wish if I had kids, I think we would be doing this stuff. I don't know, we could probably have a family YouTube channel or something like that. Kind of share the fun. You know, I always, thought about if I had a family, would we be doing this? I don't know. It'd be kind of hard to say. All right, so my stomach is growling, and I had a big breakfast this morning, so I don't know. Before I push that in all the way. Okay, you got to put it down on this yellow piece here, like that. And I have a feeling this one goes here. Okay. But we're still on this side here. Can't do that. And then you rotate it around, you do the same thing there, which we just did. And I mean, so far so good, huh? We haven't messed up. Yeah, usually part one of these type of builds is usually the longest. The reason being is that we have to do the unboxing and stuff like that. Usually the middle part of the vehicles are usually the fastest part, as I could remember. See, I got a bunch of personal chores that are coming up, and I'm not going to have fun. Yeah, my time off is usually more work. Vacations, I very rarely get to do them. When I do them, they just don't last long enough. But my girlfriend and I had fun on our little vacation type thing, and that was it. Now it's back to the grindstone. She's got to go back to work, and I'm still off for another 8.5 weeks. And it's going to get consumed with chores. I mean, I'll still be doing Lego reviews by the time I go back, I really need to clean the viewfinder on this camera. That kind of thing. Okay, now it looks like we're focusing our attention on the bumper here. This set, though, has just got lots of little parts that you can touch your hand on. And, ooh, yeah, that's really going to leave a mark. Lego needs to chill out on the really tiny stuff. I think Lego is, the toy is real good, but just kind of going crazy with every little 1x1 and 1x2 they can stuff in sets now. It's like, wow, I got a really big, expensive set with 1,000 pieces, and 1,000 pieces are just 1x1s and 1x2s, and yeah, that's not really fun to put together. I try to use the biggest possible pieces in mine and my tutorials and stuff, because the bigger pieces are actually cheaper than just a bunch of smaller ones. Making sure that that did not leave a cut on my hand. Got bit by the Lego. Yeah, get this put together for you. But I'm going to try to film this whole installment series today. Then I'm going to do a lot of editing. My best bet is just to pack memory cards. Once I get memory cards emptied, I'm going to pack as many items as I can and get things going here. Okay, that's the bumper. Turn signals are supposed to go at the bottom. That's not too bad so far. It's looking pretty good, isn't it? And then now it looks like this goes up here. It locks it together, like one of my cars that I build. So stuff like this, these type of sets, are really just, I think it's, Lego could have just kept it like this and just left it as 3 vehicles, not remix it, and made it a good group build. I don't think the box says that it can be built by up to several people. They need to, Lego really does need to emphasize on that. They really do. Because if I was a parent, I'd be looking for that with that stuff. Alright, take our scratch glass and shove it inside of here. I've always been looking for these. But today, you just slide that in there and you're going to have to wiggle it in. It snaps in place. There we go. Make sure that's all the way in there. But these look more like what you'd see like on an armored vehicle. That kind of thing. Oh, okay, so we use these around here. Well, that's kind of cool. It's got nice contour for that. Oh, that's the hard hat. No, don't you dare roll off. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't look too bad, does it? Alright, now we got to take one of these wands, split this apart. I'm just going to break them both off. And then take that and we can discard that. Don't throw it on your carpet because the vacuum won't like it too much. It looks like this one goes right in this hole right there. Probably the radio antenna for the CB. Okay, then now we're going to be turning our attention to the top here. Now I could break this, like I said, break these down into 9 installments, but that would be a little just too much. I'd be dragging out a build, and I personally don't want to do that. You know. Okay. And that goes on the top. So obviously you can see the minifigure in there, but those little steering wheels never do very well. Is that supposed to hang over like that? Yeah, it is. It's got a little sun visor too, but that did not go down all the way. Why not? Okay, you just have to wiggle that in there. And then now we got to put our tires on. We got to rim it up first. Flick those out so we can get those in there. And they want the lug nuts facing out and that going in. I always like these because they look like you got the fancy rims, but we got to make it look extra industrial, so we got to make it look tough and mean. Okay. And then, but we have one more of these plates here. I don't see anything missing. Unless something's supposed to go there. Well, let's find out here. Troubleshoot time. If you got, you know, little pieces like this here are usually common, but 1x2s, no. So we'll figure out where that goes there. Sometimes when you have extra pieces, it tells on itself. So you just do what I'm doing here. Before we go in, don't even think. Just say, okay, I've got an extra piece. Before I continue on, find out where it goes. Sometimes Lego does make mistakes. There was a piece, but that's right in there, and then the other guy sits right on the front of it. We already have that there. Alright, so that counts that one there, but there's one behind it. Let me take that off there, we'll look. Yeah, I forgot to put that piece down in there. Now I could just leave it, but you know, these remix sets can be a little bit of a chore to take apart. So how do you get to something like that? You're going to have to peel off the layers. So let me just pop these off real quick. Yeah, if you look at... Oh, and by the way, for those who say forget parts, yeah, I don't intentionally make mistakes in these, but I do get cussed out from time to time on that. And when that happens, I go a-blocking, so be careful. Watch the video all the way through, because I will make mistakes. As a matter of fact, I should purposely make mistakes so I can have a reason to fill up the block list. Alright, now we can put these back on here. Okay. So yeah, before you continue on with your model, just do that. Now mistakes like that I don't ding off for the review, because that's my mistake. Okay. And then now that takes care of section 1 of the utility vehicle. The only thing I don't like is that these are just kind of hard to get in there. And then this is what we have remaining here for bag 1. Not too bad. And I got to find a container to put these in, which I usually have around here, but this time I don't. Put those in there. I do that just so I don't lose the parts. And yeah, that's not too bad for what we've done. It took a little longer than I thought just to make just a third of a vehicle, but yeah, at least we got a third of it built. Okay, now we're going to move on to bag 2. And yeah, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but I have a feeling it's going to be small stuff. This is going to be the middle portion of the vehicle. At least now we can confirm now. And how do these things attach? You just attach another piece to those right there. So it's all keyed up for you. And now, so that's the middle piece. That didn't look too bad. And if you see all the parts like that in there, we're going to go pretty quick through this one. And remixing it up. Ooh, wow, 1x4 red bricks. Oh, those are very rare. I don't even see those in a lot of modern sets anymore. Yeah, but I'm always pleased to share my ideas with you guys and gals. You know, because something may happen to me one day. I may, you know, my life may sunset one day, and I'll pass this information on to the community. I'm not going to be around forever, you know. But that's not for a long time. I don't need to worry about that, but just gotta never know the way everything is going today. But while I'm here, I can share my ideas with you guys and gals. And it's color coded, so I think the red goes with the red there. And so we'll keep the blue on this side here. Yeah, Lego is a nice hobby, but it's starting to get expensive. Like it's just, or it already has been expensive, but now it's getting worse. Lego hasn't raised up their prices all that much. It's just the sets now are getting more complicated, and they're fluffing them up with smaller parts. But I haven't really seen any other building toys art mediums. Let's count it that way. That does such a thing. Okay, I don't know what this section here is, but we got to build 2 of them. But the thing about doing Lego stuff is it is something that's relaxing. And most kids and adults, especially around my age, can relate to this. Because like I said, and I mentioned this in a few other videos, if I had children, we'd be doing this a lot. And if they didn't want to do it, that'd be okay too. But we'd be building with Lego a lot. We'd be just putting things together and just hanging out in the Lego room. Okay, you know, that kind of thing. I got the forks, but I need that other round piece. Where did that go? Ah, there's just so many small parts. It kind of brings back memories of that modular. I think it's supposed to go like that, but of course you can just turn that if you want to. Like, see, like mine's sideways. I could just come in here and rotate that around there. And then you got to put the hinge pieces here. Yeah, so how many of you went out of town for Christmas? Because by the time this is... No, this will be published before then. So how many of you are going to go out of town before Christmas? I've already left, so now the rest of my holidays will be spent in the desert with the sun trying to peek out through the clouds just so it can heat everything up to a nice 80 degrees. Which is not fun. Alright, so these go where? Okay, they go inside this Technic brick here, like this, with the large side of the slope that way. And they tell you to bend them out like that. It's like that, but mine are already like that anyway, so just leave them sticking out. I guess because some of the kiddies like to bend them. You know, we're not bending anything right now because we're going to finish this up here real fast. Okay. I mean, this one here shouldn't take us all that long. And I forgot to start my timer, so I don't know exactly how much minutes I've been spending on this. Well, I could just look at the camera. I've only been doing this for like 5 minutes, so yeah. Well, this section anyways. Yeah, so what I'm going to be doing the holidays is basically doing set reviews, just tons of Lego stuff. Building my own stuff is fun. Like this right here is fun. I just don't like doing the paperwork that goes on with this, with the review offers. For those who say, oh Jad, I don't mind doing paperwork, I just don't want to buy the sets. I'd rather buy the set and not have to be obligated. No, but I chose this, that's what happens. So the paperwork, I got to deal with paperwork for getting my car inspected. I got to deal with paperwork for my driver's license. That's probably going to take a few weeks, and then yeah, it's just non-stop. Whoa, 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 I went too fast. That's not supposed to go there. Alright. And then now we got to put these back on, or make sure your red's on one side, your blue's on the other. At least it's keyed. I like doing the little 100-piece sets because they're easier to deal with. I mean, smaller builds, yeah, I would expect small pieces, but Lego, I think, is going a little crazy on this. Like, a lot of the stuff I can condense down real quickly. But we're just literally putting little upon little parts on here. Kind of reminds me of that modular. And I need these in dark orange, and I do not have them. This one's just the middle section here. Since I've been crawling up in my crawl space, my left arm has been sore for the last month. And I have to literally like move it around to get the pain to go away. I mean, literally, it's just been kind of brutal. So I have to kind of wiggle it around just to kind of get the thing to pop back in place. Because when you're up in the attic, you don't want to fall through the ceiling and cause more damage. So what do? I just grab onto those rafters and just pray I don't fall in there, and just on my hands and knees. I have a feeling these go on both sides, so I'm going to keep the blue here on the left, on the right hand side, and the left hand side would be red. And then we'll come back here. And then I think the slopes go on the top there. Yeah. Okay. And after we're done with that, yeah, the slopes go on the top. So I'd say this building guide is kind of, yeah, this is more age appropriate, but for an adult, you can probably infer what things go to. And yeah, that's the middle section right there. And can't get that last piece in there. And that's it. And then you got to swing these guys up here. And that takes care of the second section. Now how these go together is you'd have to match the colors. Like this could fit here. These won't fit. So they're using, you got to put the red and blue together. And these snap together. Like that. And then when you're done, you want to change it up. Pulling them apart, but this is a little too stiff. This would have sufficed, but they got the clips in there. So yeah, we're getting more of the service truck done, but we're still not quite done yet. Alright, I think we're going to wrap up this installment with Bag 3. We've already been here for almost about 50 minutes. And I want to thank everyone on Patreon and my main channel for being contributors. It's always a big help because funding goes for better YouTube stuff and tutorials. Basically to share my ideas. I want to thank everyone for checking out my Rubrical profile and purchasing or downloading building guides. It's always a big help. In addition to everyone who takes the time to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff on here. And subscribing is free. You don't have to pay for it, except for when you have to see all those little parts coming out of the bag. That kind of thing. And yeah, so it looks like the back part of the vehicle is the rear. So we're going to be starting with that one now. So by the end of this build installment, we'll have a whole complete build of this vehicle. I mean, we got a little bit of everything, but little pieces I kind of just like, yeah, I know. Kind of get that out of the way there. And I'm trying hard not to yawn in your ears today. It's been one of those lazy days. Earlier in the week, I did not want to get out of bed, so I just kind of didn't even bother filming one day because my memory cards were all full and I was processing videos. I thought, well, I'm just going to lounge around. And I did just that. I mean, who doesn't like being unproductive? Some days I just don't want to be productive, and that's that. And let's see here. So we got that out of the way. I don't know. We obviously know it's the rear, so it's probably the rear axle we're constructing. Yeah, I was watching that movie Speed last night from the 90s. The bus that couldn't slow down. I thought, man, I should make that bus and just crash it into things. Makes like some cheap cars and stuff and just have the bus go around. Oh! Look at that. Too bad that wasn't yellow and black, but we have printed pieces. Cool. You know, sets like this that are fully printed, you know, I can't just, it's, you know, the sticker saves a step. It really does. But back to the Speed movie, though. Just those old movies, but I just like watching. Just like watching a good old-fashioned shoot-'em-up movie. You know, a couple of nights ago, I was watching Scarface. What was this guy's name? Tony Montana. Oh, those are always fun. Wow, that's rare. A 2x4 red brick. Where did that come from? But yeah, I watch those for those who don't know. And for those out there who say, Jay, how dare you for not watching Disney movies? Because I don't watch Disney movies. I watch those type of movies, the bad ones that have the bad words and the shootouts and stuff. Why we see it every day, but you know, it's just something that gives me something to do. But lately I've been kind of wanting to watch some other type of videos. There's a YouTuber that has short skits on YouTube. And I mean, his video content is pretty good, except everything is about him. His studio is named after him. The products he sells are all named after him. And every video references one guy about 20 times. And I mean, some people are like that, right? I don't do that. I don't say, well, this is the Jsta for workbench, here's the Jsta for camera, this is Jsta for this, Jsta for this. That would get annoying. It really would. You know, my tutorials are built with Lego bricks. I don't say this is a Jsta for tutorial. I mean, I could, but then again, why don't I just say, well, we're doing a tutorial on a pickup truck, and let's leave it at that, you know? I don't want to make, I have a brand, my building guides, but that's just it. My building guides have my logo on there. That's what I do. But other than that, I don't need to force it down. There's the rear right there. And I kind of got fed up with this guy's video at the very end, his newer stuff. He would be advertising like a mobile game. For 5 minutes, it was a paid promotional ad in the video. I kept scanning. 5 minutes later, they were still talking about the same mobile game. It wasn't even about the climax of the thing. He was just talking about this thing. Some people weave that stuff in there, that's fine, but I was kind of like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and watch this. You got to download this game, you got to play it and all that stuff. I thought, oh, I'm not into mobile gaming. And two, that's one of those games that you have to literally spend your whole life savings on just to get some kind of items you need to unlock, just so you can use them once and you got to go buy more. I thought, no. I mean, like my videos here, this is a paid promotional thing. Okay, if I see that again, Lego, I have to ding off some points. This is a paid promotional video. The commentary is not. So that's not what I'm doing here. I'm looking for a plate. Oh, it's in there. I have a couple of those, but not a lot. So yeah, for some of you who say, was this a paid video? Yeah, the whole video is a paid ad, but the storytelling is not. Lego's very flexible because Lego understands we all do things differently. And like mine are like storytellings. I just talk about just random topics and stuff. And so the beginning of the video, usually it's a paid promotion. When I say Lego provides this set to me, that's it. The whole thing. Then after that, the fun part begins. Like, I could build it my way. I could do anything I want. Lego is very flexible. But I have to be careful because I still have to follow a set of rules. You know, I got to get sets done at a certain time. You know, I can't just throw them in my stash and forget about them for 20 years because Lego would not be so kind and they would frown upon that. We don't want that. So we need another white one there. Alright. We put more of those on there. We did that. Okay, stick the red in the back. So obviously you can tell that this is going to snap on there. Now when we're done, we'll have a lot of fun with this and see how well it goes. I'm expecting a package today, so I got to keep an eye out. more Christmas gifts. It's an early Christmas gift to my mom, so I gotta wait for it to come to the door today. Yeah, I need to make a surfing trip. Go to the beach and just hit the waves for a week. But right now, with all the other chores going on, I just don't have a lot of free time to do that anymore. So, no surfing for me. Just wake up, chores, and go to bed. Alright. And then we have these. I can't recall. I think I was looking for these in black for a build. Well, if I need them, there they are, but I think I already did an alternative portion to the build, so I don't need them. Sometimes that happens. And I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to load up another piece of content to YouTube for your enjoyment. So I had to do that. So I got that out of the way. Yeah, so if you're looking for something to do with the kids, yeah, this set's going to be a good one for you. Okay, a really good one. Because some families are looking for collaboratives, and this one here will fit the bill, most likely. Yeah, it's not so fun now with the sun out. Yeah, my nephew's supposed to be home in about a week. Means I'll be staying up late because he doesn't know how to keep it down here, which I got to set some rules for that. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Now we're going to be building the sides to this. At least these pieces are printed. Yeah, so I'm going to try to get this set done today in terms of filming. Get the filming done. And then we'll move on to something better. I got a theme that I really want to get into. I can't talk about it now, but it's a theme that I really, 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 really want to get into. Lots of juicy commentary. Right now, the city sets, they do have some commentary, but not really a whole lot. You know, so that kind of thing here. And then we put these tiles here. Looks more like we're building a dump truck, but this looks more like just a service truck, like for power lines and such. But these tiles here are keepers. And then these go right here. Okay, they fit right inside there like that. I mean, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Then we just take the other one and stick that in there. Those angle tiles are really cool, huh? Okay. And now we're back over here, but we're going to put these in here. I'm just going to put them both in now. We're almost done here. There's not a whole lot of parts. And then I'm going to take a lunch break, but yeah, so we do the other one now. So the city workers he's taking a long stroll. He's got to walk to his truck, so it's going to take forever for him to get there. But don't worry, dude, we're getting there. It's going to be a long walk, but it'll be worth it because you won't have to walk after this. I was really hoping to fit 2 installments per memory card, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I'll probably have to split these. Well, I could just film a short set after this, too. It's hard to say. Okay, let's put this in here. Right there. That takes care of that. Okay, now it looks like we're turning our attention to the lift. So let's get going with that. So yeah, by the time you're watching this, probably won't be for another 2 weeks, but I only try to release 1 video a day. I'm not like the other guys. I don't want to flood you out with 20 videos because that does get kind of annoying. I've had YouTubers who done that. When I subbed to them, they would flood out my inbox up to a point of I would just unsub them thinking, dude, you're flooding my box out way too much, and I really don't want to just watch just your videos alone. So I would just turn those off. There was another one I was subbed to, but every time I turn around, he would go heavy into politics, and instead of doing repair videos, I just stopped watching that guy altogether. I'm thinking, some people don't get it. Like, I do rants, and so I try to keep the rants down to a roar. I know some people don't want to hear the rants, so I try not to talk about them all that much. Like, there's really nothing to rant about today, so that's even better, except for the chores, but you know, that's to be expected. Okay. And I forgot to put this one here. Oh, we'll put it in now. Now it looks like we're going to be focusing on the basket here. Alright, so it's supposed to be like that. And then the basket goes onto here. I have a feeling those two are going to get acquainted with each other, and that's exactly what they're doing here, just like that. I think this is just meant to fold up like that. Well, kind of. Alright. Well, okay. So this thing's supposed to fold up like in an accordion like this. And then now we got to let these two get married here. Okay. Just this alone would make a good set in itself. And then now we're going to roll on to the tires, get the rims on the tires, and get these put on. And this is already coming apart. I'm going to say that the build quality on this set is getting to be more of average. I'm starting to see parts just starting to flake off here. So yeah, this back part is not built that well. And then I think that's it. You have a couple small pieces, which is fine. And pick all these up here. So this is what we have remaining here for bag 3 in the build. Not too bad. And now we got to plug this guy in here to this. So red and blue here. Make purple. Not too bad at all. And that concludes this installment here. And yeah, well, we can't do the rest right now because we haven't done them all yet. We've only done one thing. Okay, we can't do it. This is the only thing we can mix and match. Summation of Thoughts. And yeah, this one's keeping my interest. As you can see, though, we have these leveling jacks. And boy, that comes out perfect. And then you got this thing here. This actually comes up. So it is a playable model. And in addition, you know, how is it to take these stuff apart? Well, let's take a look here. And just this alone would be a good city vehicle in your city. But it's meant to pop apart. So you just pull these apart here. You could even do this here if you wanted to. In fact, that looks a little better, doesn't it? You know, it's compact. But at the end, though, I think just leaving them as is would be fine. But that's the only thing we can mix and match right now. We can't do a whole lot with this. But it's playable. I mean, look, I have access to put a minifigure in here. That's even better. And just by looking at this model here alone, I'm going to say that I'm pretty pleased with this. I mean, for what this is perfect for Lego City. Just this, without even taking it apart. I think a lot of people who get this stuff, I mean, for $70, we're getting 3 vehicles. That's not too bad. These we haven't done anything with yet, so we'll have to wait until the next installment. Comes with the Brick Separator, which is really good. But honestly, though, let me get this staged up here for everybody. But I'm pleased with this. It wasn't bad. I mean, the construction on it, I'd say, is average. I'd say right now we're getting to an 8.5 right now. But I think if you're looking for something to do with the kids and you want something collaborative, here you go. You got something to do with your son or daughter, or mom or dad, and brother or sister. And it's self-contained because this can be scooped up and put in a city. And I'm pretty pleased. But tell me what you think so far.